happy Tuesday morning, April 20, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Tuesday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday morning, but first let's begin with a check of your weather from meteorologist Kevin Skarupa. Let's start with that first. And the weather right now is clear, 36 degrees. And expect dry conditions over the next 6 hours. Also, there is a weather alert, special weather statement. And meteorologist Kevin Skarupa is saying another mild day. With more on that, let's take a listen to this weather video from meteorologist Kevin Skarupa.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility.
Looks like another mild day is on the way. A couple of showers up north, otherwise partial sunshine expected, and a little bit more of a southwesterly breeze into the afternoon as a strong cold front eventually arrives during the daylight hours tomorrow. So we're back into the 60s today, some upper 50s with a few showers along with a thicker cloud cover up north into the afternoon. But overall, another very mild day for this time of year. Partly cloudy skies tonight with increasing clouds by morning. Temperatures will ease back into the upper 30s and lower 40s. You will notice for the North Country tomorrow will be kind of a mixture of some rain and wet snow as temperatures will be up into the 40s in the afternoon. For southern areas, 50s to lower 60s, a round of rainfall during the afternoon and early evening. Could be a couple of rumbles of thunder with that as well. And the potential for a few inches of accumulation up north out of this before it wraps up. Brisk winds out of the northwest for Thursday. Highs only in the 30s in the North Country and 40s elsewhere. Still breezy, but partly sunny skies and temperatures in the 50s on Friday. And then back into the 60s. Partly sunny skies, and the more reliable of the 2 days over the weekend will be on Saturday. Does look like we'll have a good chance of some showers around on Sunday as we continue to go back and forth between the flow out of Canada, driving temperatures colder, like we'll see on Thursday, and then the milder temperatures that we'll have out there today with a southwesterly breeze out ahead of that front that eventually arrives tomorrow. Either side of 40 with a couple of mixed showers up north tonight, and then kind of a back and forth between rain and wet snow up north, a few inches of accumulation. Southern areas will have one more day to pop back above 60 degrees, but it will be with some rain around in the afternoon. Light coating to maybe an inch, most of this up in elevation from the Monadnock region to the upper valley. All of this Wednesday night and early Thursday as the front comes through. Well, we could see a few inches of accumulation up through the White Mountains and the Great North Woods. Extended forecast has some cooler air to round out the week, but then we start to moderate again. I think Saturday's the better day as we'll have some showers around Sunday.
Okay, there you go on that weather video from meteorologist Kevin Skarupa. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. And here's a look at those COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. There are 91,783 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. There are 1,270 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And there are 133 current number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And that is a look at your COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. There are 235 new cases of COVID-19, no new deaths reported in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors.
And now to the new numbers in New Hampshire today. There are 235 new cases of COVID-19. Active cases are up today to 3,300. Current hospitalizations remain at 133. And there are no new deaths to report today, but 1,270 granted staters have died since the start of the pandemic.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. List New Hampshire communities with mask rules in place after state mandate expired last week. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors out of
A sign is back up in Portsmouth's Market Square reminding visitors of a mask ordinance in effect through June. The city's mayor watching case numbers rise locally and along the Mass border.
I was really in hopes that the state wouldn't do anything at least until Memorial Day to give it a little bit more time.
General manager of the Portsmouth Brewery says keeping its employees and the public safe hasn't always been easy.
We've experienced some really amazing, kind human beings walking through our door, being extremely supportive, and then we've experienced the entitled, privileged people that refuse to wear a mask.
He thinks the lifting of the statewide mandate will embolden some people.
We're going to find people are going to walk through the door saying the governor is not requiring me to wear a mask, and we're going to say, then you're not going to drink beer here.
Links to signage describing protocols sent today to chamber members from Nashua to Concord. The coalition of chambers reminding the public that businesses are still operating under the state's reopening guidelines and asking for its support.
I think our message is continue working together, look and see what local businesses are continuing to do, have patience, and respect their ability and their right to be able to put in place guidelines that they think are best for their individual business.
As for state offices and buildings, the governor's office says they will comply with local rules, and they too have been working under the Safer at Home guidelines enacted last spring, practices that will continue until at least May 7th, when they too will scale back to the best practices. We're live in Portsmouth. Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. All people 16 plus, regardless of residency, can now book COVID-19 vaccine appointment in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell.
Starting today, New Hampshire opened vaccine eligibility to anyone 16 years and up, no matter where you live. Non-residents can now register for a vaccine. Out-of-state students, workers, people with vacation homes, visitors. More than 6,000 jumped on the chance on day one.
It doesn't really matter where you're from. I think, the more people that get the vaccine, the sooner the pandemic will be over.
George Hoyt signed up for his appointment next month, 1 week before he graduates from Rivier University in Nashua. While he lives in New Hampshire, he's relieved all students, including out of state, can get vaccinated here.
A lot of people my age think that, COVID doesn't hit them as hard as maybe the older population. But there have been cases that it has.
The governor says everyone eligible in the state has had a chance to get a vaccine appointment and still will.
We still have a lot more vaccine to give between now and Memorial Day. We have about 100,000 available appointments. So we figured we might as well open it up to everybody, second homeowners, out-of-state students, anybody for any reason, kind of being part of that kind of greater New England solution.
Most non-residents signing up at vaccines.nh.gov are from New England states, but some as far away as California. Jean Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Former VP Mondale, fondly remembered in New Hampshire as a decent, humorous man, iconic public servant. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Mainly Tubs is now open in Bedford. New England's largest hot spring spa dealer is now serving
So we do begin tonight with breaking political news. Former Vice President and Democratic presidential nominee Walter Mondale has died at the age of 93. Good evening, New Hampshire. I'm Tom Griffith. Mondale served his home state of Minnesota as Attorney General and U.S. Senator before becoming President Jimmy Carter's running mate in 1976. Mondale then ran for and won the Democratic presidential nomination in 1984, but came in second in the New Hampshire primary to Gary Hart. He made history for choosing the first female running mate, Geraldine Ferraro. The pair lost the election to the Reagan-Bush ticket. Tonight, we spoke to some of the Granite Staters who helped with Mondale's 1984 campaign.
I think the country is going to miss a public servant of the highest quality. There was never a whiff of scandal surrounding him. He really was a role model for many of us who entered public service and public life.
He worked with different kinds of religions, different kinds of races, different sides of the sexual scope and so forth to make them come together, which is why he was seen as such a wild-eyed liberal in the day. Now he might not be seen as that, but he was always on the cutting edge of trying to get things done.
And we have just received a statement from former President Carter. He says, in part, during our administration, Fritz used his political skill and personal integrity to transform the vice presidency into a dynamic policy-driving force that had never been seen before and still exists today. Mondale's family says he passed away today in Minneapolis.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Organizations try to vaccinate homebound people. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Their reviews? Our reviews.
I'm so happy.
Find out what we're all about at adamvroofing.com.
It feels like the beginning of, the end of a long trial.
Paula Windsor is one of 3 caretakers for her 90-year-old homebound mother in Rumney. She, the other caregivers, and her mom, June, just got their second COVID vaccine through a program that targets homebound clients.
For somebody getting home care and having caregivers, everybody is exposed to everybody else, and we all try to be very careful.
It was Pemmy Baker Community Health out of Plymouth that delivered those vaccines. They've been serving most of Grafton County.
We started out kind of slowly doing, 5 or 10, in a given day, but we're doing 60 to 70 vaccinations some weeks.
Hamill says since March, they've delivered 180 shots with just 3 nurses. She says the biggest challenge is logistics, given the large area they serve. In Manchester, public health officials have a much smaller region geographically to deliver homebound vaccines. They're finding their list of clients continues to grow the longer they're in the field.
So we're very busy trying to get to the pockets where folks aren't being able to get to a fixed site. And I think we're going to continue to chip away at that as we, encounter different groups or partners in the community.
Alexico says that the pause of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine didn't hamper their efforts, but they still have a stash available if it gets the go-ahead in the future. Reporting live, Mandy Hirschberger, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Return to in-person learning could mean end to unemployment benefits for some. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
I think what sets us apart is the fact that our technicians live and breathe only chimneys. It's not a part of our company, it is our company. We do everything from sweeping the chimney, maintaining the chimney, repairing the chimney, rebuilding the chimney. Our inspections are top to bottom, inside and out. We make sure that the entire chimney as a whole has been inspected and can function as a system rather than just a fireplace. The biggest value that customers get from having us in their home is peace of mind that the chimney's going to work when we leave, they can use it safely, and that we can fix any problems that they have.
Right now, 37,000 people in New Hampshire are applying for unemployment. 40% are receiving pandemic-related assistance.
And those folks are eligible right now because of the pandemic-related reasons that were created by the CARES Act.
Reasons include having COVID or caring for someone who has the virus, in addition to people who have been advised to quarantine by a doctor.
This is also the program that created eligibility for those self-employed individuals and those gig workers that were unable to conduct their business.
It also provided benefits to people who stayed home with their kids because of remote learning, but that has changed.
If the school is providing families with in-person learning, then that school is considered open, and parents in that district would no longer qualify for pandemic benefits if that was the only reason that they were filing.
That applies to about 1,400 people in the state. This dad is one of them and feels families should be given more time.
We need to be transitioned into full-time schooling. We need a couple of weeks to find a job and not be denied unemployment automatically.
The department says anyone who applies for assistance and does not qualify will be contacted.
If someone were to provide us with inaccurate information and as a result we paid them benefits, they're going to have to pay those benefits back to us.
Anyone who is denied unemployment benefits has the right to appeal if they don't agree with the state's decision. Reporting in Manchester, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Multiple injuries reported after car crashes into Bodegin in Hamilton Heights. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC 7NY.
Take a look at this security camera video that shows an SUV smashing into the front of a deli in Upper Manhattan tonight. The car careened into NYC Organic Deli on Broadway at 136th Street right around 8:30 p.m. after colliding with another vehicle. A pedestrian was hit and is now in critical condition. 5 other people were also taken to the hospital for their injuries. Inspectors say there was no significant structural damage to the building.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And thank you for joining us for this Tuesday edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.